would think that when you get to this stage, 5 metres from the line, it's just about belligerence, getting yourself over the line any way you can. But actually, there's a little bit of decision making that has to be made. You don't want what the players might call white line fever, people going too hard for the line when it's not on. So sometimes you have a set-up play to create space for the next pick and go, don't you?
Yeah, you know, and you can see when people go off piste a bit, they get punished for it, and it ruins the momentum.
Where does that initial call come from? Is it just something, because the thing about Exeter, everyone buys into doing the same thing at the same time. Is that led from Steno at the back, or once you get down to this area, do you just know that that's what you're going to go into?
Yeah, no, once we get down the area, we know this is what we're going to do. It's part of the game.
And I think that's the difference between teams at the top and teams at the bottom, that ability to convert opportunities. When they get into the score zone, they might be even throughout the game, but Exeter more than anyone, when they get into the score zone, they convert. So just talk, we've set up a breakdown here, Don. Yeah. Just talk about, first of all, the ball carrier. What's his thoughts? Where's he looking to run? What's his angle?
So obviously, we try not to go at the first man, so trying to get on a bit on the out, because there's constant examples of guys getting tackled into the ruck. So he's got to keep his body height low, try and get him into that space.
So part of that as well is it's easier to do a head-on tackle to knock someone backwards. If some of the momentum's going that way, you might crab across, you might be able to steal a couple of extra metres.
Yeah.
You often set up like this with one man out here and one man out here. What's the role of the two support players?
So that's just to help with a bit more momentum. If he picks and he comes into the 3 defenders and he's on his own, you're going to go backwards. Physics says that. So these guys are there to help give him a bit more momentum, make sure that we secure the ball, secure the ruck that comes once he gets tackled.
So this man here wants to keep as low as possible, not allow any of these defenders to get underneath him. Sometimes when they get really close to the line, you'll see the Exeter players almost with their foreheads on the ground, and then as the contact comes in, they extend into it just to steal those extra couple of inches. As he picks here, you've got a man steering him from inside, trying to shield some of the collision from this side, but you've also got someone joining here to try and straighten this man up who's gone on an arc and get him going forward again. So rather than just across the field, as he picks, this guy will latch on, so get out wide on that arc, latch on, just stop there. So he latches on now. At the moment, his thoughts are all about giving him some power, driving him towards the line. But if it becomes obvious that you're not going to get to the line, sometimes his decision-making changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously then his decision is to make sure he secures the ruck, make sure that the guys that are involved in the tackle stay in there, and that they're not coming over and making a mess of it for the guys that are trying to pick at the net.
I think that's a really important part, because actually, if you get some momentum, it's very difficult for these guys coming through, and we see a little bit of cheating going on with some teams, and we know it when this guy takes the support player and pushes him right through the back of the breakdown. That's obvious, but you're entitled to slide your bind, or the referees will never penalise you for sliding your bind. Now, what we sometimes see is this player now, unconcerned about him, just trying to keep this man, who might have been able to get out for the next phase once it stops and be a defender, keeping him in, even by tackling him to the floor. So as he goes down now, you've gone to ground as well. It's now a long way for these guys to get round the back. So it gives this corner, we often hear Austin talking about attacking a corner out wide. It gives this corner that these guys can't get round quickly enough. All these guys are worried about the backs out wide. They're worried about Henry Slade and Steenson, so they don't want to come in too tight. If you can get very quick ball there, it's then a foot race, and with the likes of someone like Don Armand or Thomas the Tank Engine there, that's why Exeter score so many tries in this phase. Let's have a look at that in action just to show it in real life. Here we go, you can see the first phase here. Just watch Sam Skinner here, tips that last man over the back of the breakdown, creates that corner. They don't score off the next phase, but as we play it on, they get that opportunity of a one-on-one. And then just watch the work of Kovacic here. Tapawai highlighted by the post on the right. He does the role of taking him out, and then he brings Tapawai in, holds him into the breakdown, and Don Armand manages to get his hand over the line. What I want to know from you is, when does that communication come from Steenson? Because I know as a forward, when you get excited about going to the line, do you always give it back? Is there a call that you have where, right, that's it, forwards, you've had your fun, I want to play now?
I think it'd be interesting to see if you got any of these tries or build-ups to the tries on wider screen, because you pretty much know when Steno's calling it, because him and the guys outside him are all very animated, because they're trying to get the ball to come to them, because they've seen mismatch opportunities like 3-on-2s or 3-on-4s. But as a forward's job is to make sure that we're doing this right, so that we often don't hear it, and there's often times our scrum offs kind of tapping the bum saying give me the ball, but we're so close. It's kind of, we worked this hard, we want to get over the line.
But once you get that confidence that Exeter clearly have, it almost becomes unstoppable. Because if you're going 40 phases and you're going an inch every time, eventually you'll get to the line. And a lot of teams panic when they go through that many phases, and they think, well, we better give it to the backs now. The thing I like about Exeter is it's that control. No, we'll give it when we're ready, but at some point we're going to get over.
What a trick.